Hey everybody, it's Jackie and I'm back with my September flip through of my Dylusions Creative Diary. If you've been following me, I've been keeping this book all year. That's the cover. It's like so incredibly unwieldy at this point. I can barely open it to film it for you guys. I can barely open it to work in it. To be perfectly honest, I'm getting tired of the format, sticking with the same style of journaling for this long. I get bored after a while, but I'm so close to the end of this book, I'm determined to finish it. I know it's going to be a work of art when it's done, so I'm going to keep at it. And I do love the way it's turning out, even if I don't enjoy working in it as much as I did. And that said, I'm a little bit behind in it right now, I think, because I'm not quite so motivated to work in it. So these are the pages I showed you last time. That's the end of September. And then we get, or the end of August rather, and then we get into September. And usually I just kind of, when I want to start, I think, well, what color haven't I used in a while? It's been like a month since I've used purple, so let's do purple. And that's what I ended up doing. So I used this jelly print that I made. It's on deli paper, and it's got like this artsy brand stamp and stencil butterfly motif on it. And I stuck that down. It didn't cover up the whole page, so I took a purple Neocolor 2 crayon, and I just scribbled purple around the outside, pink on the inside, and then used a baby wipe to blend it all out. And then I just used some light blue accents on my pages. So that's kind of what I do. I just pick a color scheme and I try to stick with it all week. I'm going to try to hold these open so you guys can actually see them. So I called these pages Living My Best Life because I bought a Nintendo Switch, which I wanted forever. I didn't used to play very many video games, and I wanted to play this one for such a long time, and I just kind of decided now's the time. Winter's coming and need some indoor activities. And then the same day I was out with my sister and we got like some fancy drinks at Starbucks, so I got her to take my picture holding both of them. And I was like, wow, we really are living our best lives. So I stamped this out. These are some of my favorite stamps, so I thought I'd show them to you because I talk about them a lot. They are Aladdin Stampo scrap stamps. I get them at Desserts. They come in these little tubs, and this one came with 3 alphabets, and this is my most used one. I like to stamp it and then paint around the outside of it with watercolors. It's a little bit finicky, but to get in all the little spaces, but I just love doing it. So that's how I do these letters, and then I just cut them out. Then I typed out on my typewriter, getting ready to become a morning person, because this was my last week on the night shift. So there's a picture of me, and it says last midnight bus ride on a little Dylusions sticker, and I'm on the bus looking tired like usual. I started learning how to do digital art, and so I just took a picture of an apple. This I posted on Instagram actually, that I drew on my iPad. And to do that, I just write, I'm learning to digital art with a marker. I outline them with a fine tip pen, and I just put some teal letters there and say OMG. I made some nachos, so I wrote, do nachos count as meal prep? On a Dylusions sticker. I beat a Mario game, so I just put so many times I have killed him. I typed that out, and it's a picture of Bowser as he falls into the abyss. I sent out so much happy mail this week. And what I ended up doing was I mailed out all those December daily pages I mentioned a few videos back this week in September, and so I had I took a picture of all the envelopes I sent out, and then I'd also done a Christmas swap online, so I took a picture of those envelopes that I sent out, and that was just such a fun week. The next week was River Song. So River Song was an event put on by my choir. It was Canada's first singing retreat, and we kind of went to a camp for the weekend and sang and sang and sang. And actually, it was such a big deal that I made another book about that, and I'll post a flip through of this one too. It's like a Tim Holtz binder thing, and so stay tuned for a video of that one. But it's also in my daily journal. So I just took a few pictures from the event, and I put the picture of us all singing with our song leader in the middle, picture of the girls that I traveled with. There's my sister and 2 friends, and our choir director. I used some Dylusions mushrooms to kind of represent the fact that we were out in nature, and some butterfly rub-ons. These are one Canoe or One Canoe 2. I don't know what the brand is. Some kind of rub-ons. And some Dylusions hearts and washi tapes. I'm almost through this book. I'm just like using up the last of it now. It's missing like 8 pages that I've already taken out. So I try to use a few on every spread, and that's where like this washi tape came from, and this tape and all these hearts. This is a Dylusions stamp. It's like from a border stamp set. And then as far as my journaling, I saw my husband, which it was only the 3rd time this year I've seen him. And he brought me a Nintendo Classic, so I just put a picture of the box, which is funny because I had just bought myself a Switch the week before. Now that I'm a morning person, I started getting up at 5:45, and I thought that was worth documenting. Use a Funosuke pen to write good morning. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to those pages. I decided to just leave the background on this one the way it was, which I almost, like, I've barely done the whole book through, but I'm starting to think that, like, maybe I want to remember what the book actually looked like. So this one I left the way it was, and I just watercolored this one blue. And then I used a vintage photo distress ink to put a little border around them, and that's pretty much all I did for backgrounds on those pages. Then the next week, I did another jelly print on this one. So I just stuck down, this one was one of the coloring pages, which again, I repeat myself now at this point because I've been working in this book for so long, but like I've done the coloring pages already in this book, so I don't want them a second time. So I usually cover those up with a jelly print, and that's what this page was here. And so that was blue and purple. So I did purple stamped days of the week, and I just watercolor a piece of white cardstock purple, stamp the days of the week, and cut them out and stick them down. And then I used a blue brush marker to write out my days, the actual dates, and then I just outlined them with a black pen, and I love doing that. So I got a new job at work. They gave me a permanent position, and so it was announced. So I printed off the email, and I stuck that in my book, and I just put it's official because they'd announced it. I finished a book called Authority, so I stamped out the title. That was one that my sister lent me. I did some brush lettering here with a Funosuke pen. I just used like a marker to, sometimes I just do this kind of printing where I do thick downstrokes at the start of each letter and then the rest, and I just use a little brush marker for that. And I like how that looks. I've been playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. What a great game that is. Yeah, so I'm a little video game focused this month. And so I just cut this out of the packaging because this was pretty much what I was doing in the game all the time, is I just had Link climbing mountains. So I put climb all the mountains, and that's just using a Jelly Bean Soup Alpha. I'm gonna cut out a little Nintendo Switch logo. These pages I think turned out super pretty. Hadn't used yellow in a while, so it just felt like a good idea. This is a stamp. It's a Crafter's Companion stamp. It's one of the ones I got off the shopping channel that time. And it's the Don't Stop the Music is also a stamp. And so I just stamped that down, and I colored it in. I can't remember what I used to color these pages. I know the yellow is acrylic paint. I think it might have been watercolor that I used to paint this, and then it looked too dark, so I just went through the whole thing with a white gel pen and just put like 1,000 lines until I liked it, and that worked. Another one of those One Canoe 2 butterflies, and all my photos. So I put spontaneous dinner date with Uncle Steve. Those are stamps that I used to write spontaneous dinner date. Those are from the dollar bin at Michael's. And I just use, what's the name of that ink? Memento brand inks to stamp out my titles sometimes. So there's a picture of me and my uncle. He was in town, and so we went out for dinner. And I just had this nice piece of blue tissue paper, so I used it to back all my photos, and I think it makes a nice contrast with the yellow. And then I just put a picture of some bread pudding that I made. This one says legit orange colored sky, because the sky was orange at night, and actually in my piano lessons I'm learning a song called Orange Colored Sky, so when I saw that the sky actually was orange, it just made me happy to make that connection. All these little diamonds are from Jane Davenport. She's got these like collage die cuts, and they have like book print and grid paper motifs on them. So I just stuck a few of those anywhere I had a blank spot. This is a Mambi sticker that I cut a part that says make healthy a habit. I took a picture of some stuff I ordered online. My sister and I ordered matching boots online. Yeah, so that's, and first night of choir, that's lettered with some markers. And that's those pages. Then we get into October, and I'll show you that one next month. I'm not quite done October, so I'll film that one as soon as I can. So yeah, that's it for now. Just a few pages in this book, and you'll have a video of my other journal shortly. Countdown till December daily. All right, thank you so much for watching. Look, it doesn't even stay closed. Bye.